Hello everyone, welcome to Mitras IAS. Myself Nimish Kapoor. Today we are again have another new session on Key News Crash Course. This is the ninth session and we'll be covering the agricultural topics today. So in this, the main objective today is to cover all the important areas in field of agriculture. Uh, as you know, agriculture is a very important part of your geography. At the same time, it is extremely important part of your economic geography as well. Hence, let us start with the same. So the first topic today, which we'll be dealing with, is the Saffron Bowl project. So, Saffron Bowl project, Northeast Center for Technology, Application and Reach, that is Nectar. So the agency which you might need to know, Nectar, Northeast Center for Technology, Application and Reach, under Saffron Bowl project, has identified few locations in Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya for saffron cultivation. Already they had identified in Sikkim, yes. Now they also have identified in Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya for saffron cultivation. Nectar is an autonomous body under Department of Science and Technology. So Nectar is an autonomous body under Department of Science and Technology in collaboration with Botany and Horticulture Department of Sikkim Central University implemented a pilot project in Yangyang village of South Sikkim. Right. So saffron production, as you all know, has been restricted to the valley, Kashmir Valley, and specifically Pampore region. So that is why, see, there is a lot of demand in the country. India also imports saffron from Iran, and hence that is why India, wants to expand its saffron cultivation, identifying more areas where it can cultivate saffron. As I was telling, Pampore region, commonly known as the Saffron Bowl of Kashmir, is main contributor to saffron production. Pampore Saffron Heritage of Kashmir is one of the globally important agricultural heritage systems recognized sites in India. Right. Recently, Kashmir saffron also has got GI tag, which is geographical indication. I'll talk about what is now saffron. It is a plant whose dried stigmas, thread-like parts of flower, are used to make saffron. So if you look at this picture, this is not the flower which is used, but this thread-like stigmas in between, that is what ultimately is used as saffron. Now it's a spice. Saffron is used as a spice. Saffron cultivation is believed to have been introduced in Kashmir by Central Asian immigrants around 1st century BCE. Right. It represents a rich cultural, of course, heritage. It's very precious, very precious. That is also one of the reasons that India does not want to expand, use its very important foreign exchange to bring import excessive saffron, which it can actually produce in its own country. It is referred to as Bahukam in ancient Sanskrit literature. You never know what UPSC may ask. Bahukam. Bahukam is saffron. It is cultivated and harvested in the Kareva highlands of J&K, right? Kareva highlands. So this is the type of soil formations, Karevas, highlands of J&K particular. So this is very important. Karevas, Bahukam, GI. So okay, what is GI tag? Okay, what is Saffron Bowl project? What is Nectar? What is GIAHS? These are important for prelims. Now, National Saffron Mission, it was launched in 2010 and 11, but it was only applicable for the cultivation of saffron in Jammu and Kashmir. In 2020, the government decided to revive the mission and expand it to the areas, certain areas of the northeastern part of the country. As I told you, it started earlier in Sikkim, and now the areas in Arunachal and Meghalaya has also been identified under it. It comes under the governance of Ministry of Science and actually it's Department of Science and Technology under METI. I believe, right? In 2020, the revised objective of the mission was to start the cultivation of saffron in the northeast of India. Northeast, as I told, Nectar has been given the charge to manage the pilot project, which will be started in northeast for saffron cultivation. Second topic for today, APIDA, a very important organization which is consistently being regularly you might come across in the newspapers also. And its role has expanded given India's export and import in agricultural products. So what is APIDA? APIDA is an agricultural and processed foods, a food products export development authority, right? It was established by Government of India under APIDA, Act passed by Parliament in December 1985. Now, more important is to look into its assigned functions, and then we'll go into the products which it caters to. Okay, so assigned functions is in accordance with the APIDA Act. The following functions: development of industries relating to scheduled products for export by way of providing financial assistance or otherwise by undertaking surveys and feasibility studies, right? Registration of persons as exporters. So it actually registers persons as exporters, those exporters who wants to export their agricultural produce. Fixing of standards and specifications for scheduled products for the purpose of export. So standard specification also. Carrying out an inspection of meat and meat products in slaughterhouses, processing plants, storage premises. This is also the function. Improving of packaging of the scheduled products. Improving of marketing of the scheduled products outside India. Right. Collection, the promotion of export-oriented production and development of scheduled products. Collection of statistics from owners of factories or establishments. So all these, as you know, are the functions of APIDA. Very important is to also look into the products which are monitored by APIDA. So the products which they monitor is fruits, vegetables, their products. That is not the entire produce in the country, but only those fruits, vegetables, products which are being used for export or import. Meat and meat products, poultry and poultry products, dairy products, confectionery, biscuit, bakery products, honey, jaggery, sugar products, cocoa and its products, chocolates of all kinds, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. This is also important. Cereal products, groundnuts, peanuts, walnuts, pickles, papad, chutneys, guar gum, floriculture. See, UPSC in past has actually asked questions on that the agencies or under particular act which are covered, what are the products, and so you never. That is why you need to go through this list once, so you be sure if they ask a question like which of the following products are being monitored, import or export of following product is monitored by APIDA. They might give you 4 or 5 options, out of which one may not be there correct, so or all will be correct. This is the exhaustive list or the list you should look at. Basmati rice has also been included in the second schedule of APIDA Act. In addition to this, APIDA has been entrusted with the responsibility of monitoring the import of sugar as well. APIDA also functions as a secretariat to the National Accreditation Board for implementation of accreditation of the certification bodies under National Program for Organic Production. This is very important. So in a way, APIDA is also functioning in giving accreditation to the products as organic products. Okay, setting the guidelines for them. Okay, so and under NPOP. So this is very important function of APIDA. Right, the next topic we'll cover right now is the National Nutrition Mission, or which is also known as Poshan Abhiyan. National Nutrition Mission, also known as I told, Poshan Abhiyan, was launched in 2018, although the program was being implemented from 17 by the Government of India with the aim of tackling main function is malnutrition problem prevalent in India. Right. The chief objective of the mission is to reduce the level of undernutrition and also enhance the nutritional status of children in the country. The mission is multi-ministerial initiative and aims at removing malnutrition from the country by 2022. Poshan Abhiyan is India's flagship scheme to improve the nutritional outcomes of adolescents, children, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. The mission leverages technology and convergence between various modules and departments. The program has, so all, this is, but the main here I'll go into is, so flagship scheme under Government of India, right? Main objective is to improve nutritional outcome among pregnant women, lactating mothers and children by reducing level of stunting, underweight, anemia, low birth weight. So there are certain things you should know. What is anemia, what is stunting, what is wasting also, right? Stunting, wasting. So these are very important terms for you to understand. You can go back to it. Stunting is a low weight to height, whereas stunting is low weight to age, whereas low weight to height is wasting. Target to reduce stunting, undernutrition. These are the targets. By 2022, the mission wants to achieve the reduction for, reducing the stunting from 25% to 38.4%. Okay, sorry, from 38.4% to 25% by 2022. This is one of the important missions. Funding, so 50% of total budgets come from World Bank or other multilateral development banks, and rest 50% through centers budgetary support. Other important things under this mission are that encompasses mapping of various other schemes related to malnutrition and enabling synergies through ICT based real monitoring system. So under this, other schemes which are under this umbrella scheme are Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, Janani Suraksha Yojana, Scheme for Adolescent Girls, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, PDS, National Health Mission. So they all come together, and this is where this the scheme talks about the synergies among various schemes together to achieve the respective target under this Poshan Abhiyan. For Anganwadi centers, the mission envisages the following. One, giving incentives to Anganwadi workers for using IT-based tools, elimination of registers used by Anganwadi workers. See, why elimination of registers? See, one of the reasons you might have seen across the various states that a lot of fake beneficiaries are added by Anganwadi workers. And whenever the ICT is used, it always promotes, verification of someone who's availing that benefit. So that is why one of the main reason is to elimination of registers. Measuring the height of children at Anganwadi centers. Another component of the mission is to gradual scaling up of the interventions under World Bank assisted ICDS systems. So all this very important. Poshan Abhiyan hence becomes very important for this year prelims. MSP for crops. Every few months, every few days, you talk, you come across term MSP, you talk about this Kharif crop, Rabi crop, their MSP being decided. What is MSP? What are crops covered under MSP in India? Let's look into it. So MSP is a minimum support price. Minimum support price is a form of market intervention by government of India to ensure agriculture produces against any sharp fall in farm prices. For example, let's say there's a bumper crop of paddy. Let's say, this is just for example, hypothetically, there's a bumper crop paddy, and then the demand is the same, hence supply is more. By default, if you look at the market mechanism, the price would naturally fall. But this would really put pressure on farmers. And what to protect farmers from the fluctuation of, especially the low end, the decreasing rates of, like for example, in our case, paddy, there is a minimum price which is guaranteed by the government of India, which is known as MSP, below which nobody can purchase, be it even the private party or be it the public procurement systems cannot purchase a particular product. Now, this is what the main objective of declaring MSPs. So, minimum support prices are announced by the government of India at the beginning of sowing season for a certain crop. For example, the Kharif season, beginning of Kharif season, then they announce beginning of Rabi season, then they announce. MSP is price fixed by Government of India to protect the producer farmers against excessive fall in price during bumper production years. As we discussed, the minimum support prices are guarantee price for the produce from the government. The major objectives are to support the farmers from distress sales and to procure food grains for public distribution. Very important. Crops covered. Now government announces MSPs for 22 mandated crops and FRP, fair and remunerative price for sugarcane. The mandated crops are 14 crops of Kharif season, 6 Rabi crops, and 2 other commercial crops. In addition, the MSPs of Toria and dehusked coconut are fixed on the basis of MSPs of rapeseed mustard and copra, respectively. The list of crops are following. If we see, there are 7 cereals. So this list you must know. that what all are covered. Because UPSC can ask that which of the following crops are covered under the MSP regime or MSP/FRP regime. Cereals, paddy, wheat, barley, jowar, bajra, maize, pulses 5, gram, arhar, tur, moong, urad and lentil. Oilseeds 8, groundnut, rapeseed, mustard, turia, soybean, sunflower seeds, sesame, safflower seed and niger seed. Then there is raw cotton, raw jute, copra, dehusked coconut, sugarcane, which come under the FRP, and Virginia fluke cured tobacco. We've talked about what Kharif crop, Rabi, but then quickly let's have a look what is a Kharif crop, what is a Rabi crop, so there's no confusion. Kharif crop is usually a monsoon crop. Monsoon crop usually means it tells about the season when it is sowing. It is sown is including the rainy season. So months of, let's say, late June to July, August, September is the Kharif sowing season, Kharif season. So the crops which are included are rice, maize, jowar, bajra, soybean, cotton, groundnut, jute, urad dal, moong dal, tur dal, right? Whereas Rabi is a winter crop. So it's sown during winters. So it is usually sown in October and February, March, April, till April, in fact, it is harvested. This year, so wheat, barley, gram, peas, and mustard. Wheat is really in news. Other in news, I'll just tell you very important are sunflower, soybean, wheat, oil palm. These are 4 very important in news. Wheat, why it's been news? Because in 2022, after the harvest, we've seen the decrease, 15 to 20% decrease in the production overall. Even the government procurement has been significantly less, even less than the targeted. Why? One of the major reason is the early heat wave or the increase in heat in months of March and April, which actually dried the kernel of wheat to around 10 to 20%. This actually reduced the weight or the amount of wheat which was harvested per acre. So that was one of the big reasons. So whereas there are certain significant supply shortages of soybean oil, sunflower oil, and your oil palm. All 3 with different reasons, which you should know. Sunflower oil due to war in Ukraine with Ukraine, Russia, because Ukraine is one of the Ukraine and Russia are biggest suppliers of sunflower oil, and India really imports from them. Second is soybean. There has been a decrease in the harvesting in South America, which is the biggest producer of soybean in the world. Hence, the prices of soybean has also increased. Third is oil palm, because Indonesia and Malaysia, 2 countries where India imports significant oil palm. So there, as you all know, that Indonesia actually stopped the export of oil palm in between, but now they've resumed it. But that really put the pressure on Indian market, because it really impacts the overall economy and the dynamics of how the overall food inflation in the market, and then eventually it affects the monetary policy also. So you have to be very careful in understanding all these dynamics, because UPSC this year is expected to use such kind of dynamics in just to know that are you able to understand such linkages. The next topic we'll talk about is Purple Revolution. So around 500 farmers across villages in Doda district in Jammu had their incomes quadrupled, right, 4 times after shifting from maize to lavender cultivation. This is very important. So lavender, which is being called Purple Revolution. Why purple? Because lavender is purple in color, right? It was possible due to initiatives taken under Aroma Mission. So here one more important keyword is Aroma Mission. I'll come to this. So the first time farmers were given free lavender saplings, and those who have cultivated lavender before were charged rupees 5 to 6 per sapling. Okay. The aim was to support domestic aromatic crop-based agroeconomy by moving from imported aromatic oils to homegrown varieties. So India today was actually importing a lot of aromatic oils. So India the main objective under this a purple revolution or aroma mission was to introduce such flowers, or say such types of crops where these crops can be cultivated and used to prepare own aromatic oils in the country. And it's a big global market products. So the main product is lavender oil, which sells for at least 10,000 per liter. Lavender water, which separates from lavender oil, is used to make incense sticks. And hydrosol, which is formed after distillation from flowers, is used to make soaps and room fresheners. So that is why it is, gives a lot of uh, support, or say advantage to the farmers who grow it. Council of Scientific CSIR and Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine, Jammu. The two bodies are mainly responsible for making Purple Revolution under Aroma Mission, right? Now, what is Aroma Mission? Objective is the CSIR Aroma Mission is envisaged to bring transformative change in aroma sector through the desired interventions in the areas of agriculture, processing, and product development for fueling the growth of aroma industry and rural employment. The mission will promote the cultivation of aromatic crops for essential oils that are in great demand by aroma industry. Now, it is expected to enable Indian farmers and aroma industry to become global leaders in the production of and export of some other essential oils on the pattern of methanol mint. So, methanol mint was one. Other is lavender, we've talked about, which is stated as Purple Revolution. And it aims to provide substantial benefits to farmers in achieving higher profits, utilization of wastelands, and protection of their crops from wild and grazing animals. So, wild animals, why? How? Because wild animals usually don't eat or come in the these aroma fields or these such fields because of their smells also, and grazing animals won't of course eat these plants. The next is PMFME scheme. So it is full form is PM Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises Scheme. The name in itself, you'll understand what it deals with, is a formalization of micro food processing industry. So it was launched under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, right? Aim is to enhance competitiveness of existing individual micro, very small enterprise and unorganized segment of food processing industry, and to promote formalization of sector and provide support to FPOs, farmer producer organizations, self-help groups, SHGs, and producer cooperative along their entire value chain. So under this, the product adopts a one district, one product. This is important here. Approach to reap benefit of scale in terms of procurement of inputs, availing common services and marketing of products. Implementation 2020-21 to 2024-5. So as I told, one of the major objectives, one district, one product. Support for common infrastructure will be there. Like in one district, a particular type of crop is grown, so the similar kind of infrastructure in the district will be provided, so it can be shared. Support to self-help groups, farmer producer organization, cooperatives, and individual micro food enterprises. Seed capital for self-help groups will be there. A little amount will be provided for self-help groups to promote them, to push them to use this scheme. Training and research support will be provided. Support for capacity building will be there. Branding and marketing support will also be provided. So this is the major objective, PMFME scheme. Very important topic. I'll come to this. National Mission on Edible Oil and Oil Palm, NMEOOP. Well, firstly, I'll talk about the National Mission on Edible Oil Palm is a centrally sponsored scheme. Yeah, right. Has outlay of 11,000. So this is not important. Usually, UPSC never asks the outlay of a scheme. You just need a centrally sponsored. Okay. Focus area is to increase area and productivity of oil seeds and oil palm, right? Oil seeds and oil palm. Special focus will be on Northeast and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This will increase capital investment, help generate employment, reduce dependence on imports, and increase farmer income. Number one is reduce dependence on imports, reduce supply chain shocks. Why supply chain shock? Recently, we've seen, as I discussed earlier, with respect to Indonesia, from which India actually imports 60% of its oil palm, stopped the export of oil palm, right? Now, these two other graphs and diagrams which I've given you are very important. It will just tell you that how India is import dependent. This is the older data, but still it will tell you. So import value, palm oil guzzlers. India consumes most of the cheap and versatile oil. So India actually is the world's biggest importer of oil palm. India consumed 10.8 million tons of palm oil, of which 10.36. That is older data in 2017, but to much extent the ratios remain same. The 10.8 million tons of palm oil which India consumed, 10.36 million tons was actually imported from Malaysia and Indonesia. Just see the dependency on import. And secondly, how much it uses, right? So why India is doing this, and what are the issues? So firstly, it is cheap and versatile. Palm is affordable as it has highest oil yield. So we can see the oil yield nearly 5,000 kilogram oil per hectare per year is there, as compared to other coconut, rapeseed. It is the highest. One of the reasons why people don't go for oil palm in India till now is due to high uncertain returns. But of late, the return has become good because of the growing demand. One biggest reason why India also, farmers are reluctant because of its impact on the ecosystem. It is a very, it really disturbs the overall balance of the ecosystem. So there are many apprehensions that in Andaman Nicobar, if it is grown, it may spoil the biodiversity of that area. Similar apprehensions are there with respect to Northeast region. India actually, why this scheme again India started, because despite several initiatives earlier, government has failed to meet its annual target of increasing area in the oil palm. That we can see in this figure as well. And also import is continuing, and India's import of oil palm has increased over 20 times in past 25 years, and it is continuously increasing. That is why there is a need of an MPO, and that is where India is going to focus on providing infrastructure, promoting farmers to grow oil palm on their lands in Northeast and Andaman. One more thing it is very important here is that there needs, so firstly land is to be prepared, and it takes around 4 to 5 years for a plant to grow into trees, from where then eventually the fruit will be born, right, will be taken up. So it is a long-term investment also. That is why the many farmers are also reluctant there. Next topic is National Gene Bank. So recently, Union Minister of Agriculture Farmers Welfare inaugurated world's second largest refurbished state-of-the-art National Gene Bank at the National Bureau of Plant Genetics Resources. So gene banks are a type of biorepository which preserve genetic material. So a collection of seed, plants, tissue culture, etc. A gene is a basic physical and functional unit of heredity and made up of DNA, right? Like any other gene. The National Gene Bank was established. So originally, the National Gene Bank was established in '96 to preserve seeds of plant genetic resources for future generation, and has the capacity to preserve about 1 million germplasm in the form of seeds. Germplasm is a living tissue from which new plants can be grown. So National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources is meeting the need of in situ and ex situ germplasm conservation through Delhi headquarters and 10 regional stations in the country, right? In situ, ex situ conservation focuses on maintenance of species diversity within or away from their natural habitats, respectively. So NGB has 4 kinds of facilities, namely Seed Gene Bank, which operates at -18 degrees centigrade, Cryo Gene Bank, which works at -170 degrees centigrade to -196 degrees centigrade, In Vitro Gene Bank, which is 25 degrees centigrade, and Field Gene Bank. So it stores different crops groups such as cereals, millets, medicinal and aromatic plants, and narcotics as well. The final topic for this session, which we'll discuss, and also the agriculture, is PM Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, and specifically I'll focus on per drop, more drop. So Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, as the name tells it, is an irrigation scheme. It's an umbrella scheme under which there are multiple schemes. One of it is per drop, more crop, which is regulated by Ministry of Agri, Cooperation and Farmers Development. Then there are other schemes like Har Khet Ko Pani and watershed development schemes, which are further divided into smaller parts, right? So here, the per drop more crop of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana is focused on water conservation at farm level through sprinklers and drip irrigation. It also reduces low-tech irrigation, fertilizer use, labor expenses, and input cost, right? And micro irrigation techniques which are used are drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, and other interventions include crop diversification, farm forestry, water lifting devices, secondary storage, micro level, water storage, etc. So I would recommend you read entire PMKSY, all the schemes, but per drop, more crop, I specifically emphasize to bring in your attention to this, right? So this is what I wanted to discuss from this year's agriculture point of view, some important topics. Though it is not an exhaustive list, but still from according to me, what are the important topics for this year I have covered here. So I'll come up with the next session then, and we'll cover the polity parts. And that's all for today, and meet you in the next session. Thank you so much.